That did not work at all. I started the intro and then I tried to get it to where it go live after the intro and then it wouldn't go live. So I had to make it go live again.
Oh, well. Hey,
It's like
speaking of
my
which,
first time
on
ever
the
doing this.
thumbnail, it still says September on there. You might want
I don't give a shit. Nobody watches this show.
to. That's not true. It's getting more views than your top 30 toy videos.
Oh, shut up. Don't even get me
Well,
started
you
on that.
posted that. That's the only reason I.
No, that's the only reason.
You posted it crying. And then
Yeah,
you
I
were
was crying.
commenting on your old videos. Like, one of your old ones with the mask, or whatever you were commented on.
What an idiot.
Yesterday, making fun of yourself. Like,
Well, I mean, it was terrible. You know how
it
bad I
was.
felt? You know how bad felt if I tried talking like this for an hour? I
Well,
wanted to kill myself. It's
it was
terrible.
a character
Yeah, it was a bad
because
character.
you were too insecure to just be yourself. So.
Can you blame me?
No, not one bit.
Hey, by the way, we're live. We're actually on doing the
No,
show.
I know that. I
didn't
can
know
see it.
that.
It's the little timer. It's ticking
Yeah,
up
all the
there.
timers up, yeah.
Yeah, no
All
matter.
right. So, what's up, everybody watching? If you're watching, introduce yourself because we get like 3 comments alive. So, say hi. Don't be all
No, a couple
ghosting
shows
us.
ago we had a ton of comments.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why. That was weird. Yeah. There's like 4 people watching now. So if you're watching, say hi.
Hey, wow, that
Yeah.
made that many.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like a record. All right. So this is what we're gonna do. We're not gonna do a show next week because, hey Dan, so we're not doing a show next week.
Oh, thanks.
I've already made that executive decision because it's Christmas Eve. So Dan and I were thinking about kind of going over the top toys we received on Christmas that we can actually remember. We were talking in the back, and I think we remembered like 3. So this show might go quick.
And but we kind of say we can integrate like top, just kind of like Christmas, like memories or little stories or whatever. Because I think collectively it kind of all ties together anyway.
And you had a good point there when we were talking too. Maybe we could also do the worst Christmas gifts we've ever gotten. Too.
Well, yeah, you could do that. I mean, it's not.
I mean, we might as well play Nasty Christmas while we're here. Why not?
Well, I think there's only really one of those, and that's just me and Mom and Dad were joking about it earlier.
Oh, yeah.
So they're aware too of anything that may be said. So.
Yeah. I can't really think of. Man, I have a hard time thinking of anything that was really bad.
No, because our parents and our even extended family were always very thoughtful with what they
got. Well, even like as an adult with all that.
No one's getting even.
You know what I hate? You know what I hate? Before we get going, I'll tell you what I hate because I think it's the laziest gift of all time.
Gift card.
Gift cards. I think it is the worst gift ever. I think it's the absolute worst. It's like, okay, how many times other than you asking for one? Now, okay, so let's get this straight. If you ask for one, totally different situation, right? You say, like Dad's asked me for a gift card to like Sports Authority or to like Dick's or something. Okay, fine.
Right, that makes sense.
I've asked for a gift card to like, Entertainment or some toy place. You've asked for one there. But if you get one just because you're so lazy that you don't know the person you're buying for, I think that's just. I'd rather have cash, honestly.
Well, what that is it's a matter of, and I'm not saying everyone that does this, but a lot of the time, not all the time, a lot of the time people are doing that strictly out of convenience for themselves, which is ironic because a gift is supposed to be completely selfless and full of thought for the other person. And it's actually, now that you mention it, it's kind of frustrating because it's a missed opportunity. It's like it's a great moment a Christmas gift, birthday gift, whatever, to really go out of your way to do something nice for somebody. It's an opportunity. It's kind of I know.
I don't know if this is on your list. I don't know if it's on your list. I'm going to spoil it. Let's take one, for instance, that I actually gave to Dan one year. One year, I took the time to print out a thing saying that it was like it was off a Christmas Vacation. It said, "You like the Jelly of the Month Club," and I framed it. You remember that?
I do now.
Yeah, like that took time, and I knew Dan would like it. I knew he'd get a kick out of it, so that's what I did.
Well, that's the thing, is like thinking about that person and going that extra mile, and not that that's an extra.
Well, and there's a couple I have on my list that Uncle Jeff made us that were so cool.
Oh yeah, so
you probably have some of those too.
I have at least one. I know he's made numerous things.
I can think of 3 just off the top of my head. Yep.
Well, dang. All right.
All right, so let's go ahead and get going. We'll start. How about we do this? We'll start out with in no particular order. We'll just kind of go back and forth like we did with the
Yeah,
movies.
just
And if it's something where I can show a picture, I'll just throw up Google and we'll show a picture of it. So let me get Google going. Okay. All right. So yeah, go ahead and what's your first one?
so let's see again, no order at all. Just like with the movie thing. Like Uncle Jeff had made us. So we got, I think it was kind of 3 things. It's like a deck of cards,
Mm-hmm.
but then there's a small gift that's really heavy. It's a tin full of pennies,
Right.
and then the last gift with it was a homemade catapult. So the idea was to use the pennies. So you build a house of cards essentially, and then you take the pennies and shoot them with the catapult to knock the house of cards down, as far as I remember it.
Yep.
And not only did it work, of course, but just the craftsmanship and the skill that Uncle Jeff has. But man, like you said earlier, just a minute ago, with the thing you made me with the Jelly of the Month Club from Christmas Vacation, when going out and buying and thinking of someone is extremely thoughtful, but when you take the time to actually make something, it's like that's just that's like another level. So that. Yeah, and that, I think Uncle Jeff had made other people. I think he made, maybe even Uncle Mark. He made people like nutcrackers for Christmas. And
they both did.
But I do remember the catapult, man. Like, and it worked really well. Like how he knows how to, or knew how to do all that, is beyond me. But I do remember that. That was awesome.
I remember us playing with those things for hours and hours and hours. Like that was the coolest thing. I remember opening up and like, what is this? And he had to show us how to put the spring on. Yeah, we had the spring on.
Yeah.
And then I remember, so the catapult would go, and then it would, you almost had to get a little bit more distance. I think Dad might have added like a little piece of block to make it to where the catapult didn't go straight. It would kind of stop short, and then it would launch the coins even further. So we could put the deck of cards back further, make the little houses, and then we were shooting those pennies and crap like halfway across the living room.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's just something that I don't know if that goes on today. I know just like making stuff, sure, but like to literally almost create something from scratch in a certain way, like a game that Uncle Jeff, he literally created like a game with that, like, in his own mind, and made it like for his nephews like that. I don't know that. I think that's just like, this is going the extra mile. You know what I mean? Like it. And then it's like, it's also funny because it's like, man, kids, you don't have to get all big and fancy with them. You can make something like that. Like, hey, let's make a catapult that'll knock down a house of cards, and the kids are freaking loving it. Like, I think that's the other thing is like, man, sometimes just an idea like that, it's like, man, that's just as good as getting like, for a kid, that can be just as good as getting something crazy like I don't know, what do these spoiled kids get? Like, some $1,000
like an iPad or I don't know, the freaking iPad or who the hell knows what.
So the big Hot Wheels or just something fancy, like, but with a younger kid, like you don't need to go that way. It's like the simplest things. Like they always make a joke like, hey, I ordered this really fancy gift for my kid, and he opened it up, he took it out, and he was playing in the box instead. Right. It's that kind of thing, and it's true. Like, it's just kind of funny. So,
I go through that every Christmas with my kids.
Yeah, you would know. Oh, yeah, that's cool. So anyway, there's a box of newspaper.
Well, there's no, to go with that, there's no worse feeling as a parent, mom and dad. I know they're watching. They could probably vouch for this. Although they did a great job. They probably never felt this because I don't think we ever did this. But I've gone through this where I've gotten some for my kids, and I was like, oh, they're going to love this. And
they're like,
no dice.
Because
it's a horrible feeling.
Well, because kids aren't, obviously not having kids, but kids aren't impressed by certain things or high dollar things or fancier things. They just want something they can just play with. Like it's just something basic, I guess. You know what I mean? They're not like an adult where it's like, oh, I don't want the the basic trim of the car. I have to have the top trim of the car.
Right.
It's not
Right.
like that. It's just it's funny there because they still have that innocence.
Yeah.
Hey,
No, you're
bubble
absolutely right.
wrap, sweet.
Right. Yeah. Or big box. You the thing that was in the box costs like $100, but the box itself, it's big enough for them to build a fort out of, and there you go.
Exactly. We want
They
the,
go
the
for it.
we want the
Yeah.
box fort. Yeah.
Didn't did somebody build us something like a fort one time? Why am I starting to think that was a thing?
Probably. I mean, I
Oh,
I know we would do our own like with blankets and chairs
yeah,
and
but I
couch
seem
and
to
stuff. But
remember us having like a fort thing with like I don't know. Maybe I'm losing it.
if they did, it was probably at Grandma and Grandpa Picorni's. I would
Yeah, it
assume.
definitely was. Yeah, yeah,
That's where most of that stuff happened.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, those catapults are great, man. I remember that like it was yesterday, and yeah, it was those old school Folgers coffee tins, like the tin ones. Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. I remember getting. I'm like, why do I have a huge thing of pennies and a
It's
deck
like
of
yeah,
cards?
you
And
got
then
to open
he
all
showed
three. But
us.
well,
Yeah, he
just
showed us, and
also
like, oh my gosh, it's so awesome. Then I
yeah.
remember setting up some of my action figures and trying to shoot them down and
Yeah.
things like that.
Well, just the creativity of that gift too. It's like
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. That's
yeah.
good stuff, man. Good stuff.
I agree.
All right. So mine will kind of go with that. We were huge, both of us were huge into Ninja Turtles in the late
Oh,
80s.
I know what's coming
And I had a huge thing with Shredder. Still do. But I wanted Shredder blades. So I wanted Shredder blades and I wanted a helmet. So Uncle Jeff, our uncle, my mom's brother, again, came through and he built me Shredder blades. It was like one long arm piece that was made out of PVC. He had leather straps and he had the
Oh
blades
no,
all
no,
on
no!
it.
That was all wood, man.
Yeah,
The
well,
whole
there was the
thing.
PVC. The PVC was the frame, and then it was wood
Oh
that he used a jigsaw with to make out the blades. Remember?
no, the even the arm plate was
No,
wood.
no, the arm plate was like a deep PVC. It was like a
I don't think so.
thick pipe. Yes, it was, man.
I think it was all wood, man.
No,
Either
I'm
way, either way.
pretty sure that was well. Either way, still, he made it from scratch, and he had the blades. Okay, and then he built me a helmet that was like that foam, kind of like the foam you use for your stuff.
Oh,
For the crest and the parts that go around this way. And then he was smart because he took the mask and he installed the mask to where it was part of the helmet. So it was all just one
oh,
helmet with the
okay.
mask
Well, I don't
attached to it
remember
and everything.
that part of it. Wow,
I wish I still had that.
that
Yeah,
takes some
that was
serious
yeah.
fabrication
And it
work.
was all I remember. I think mom told him about it, and it was just all fabricated from because you guys don't know this, but my grandfather, our grandfather, and our uncle used to make dentures, false teeth, crowns, and all that stuff, and mom worked with them too. So he was really good at working with his hands and making stuff out of scratch and doing all that stuff. So yeah, that was definitely when I remember just running around with those blades and yeah, I had that was a good man, that reminds me of a couple others actually that I
Oh,
have.
good,
So
good.
I'll probably be able to show them. But and some of them are actually ones you got. But yeah, that was
Oh,
that was a big Ninja Turtle. I think that was probably 88 or 89, maybe 90
well, the movie
was in
came
that
out in
time frame.
'90, so it would probably be
Yeah, it was probably 90,
yeah,
90. I would guess 90 would be my guess, Christmas 90, because
yeah.
that's when you're right. That's when the movie came out. So yeah, that was another good one, man. Really, really enjoyed that one.
Talk about having something that no other kid has. Jeez.
Well, yeah, and especially that time. See, there wasn't cosplayers or anything like that.
No.
Now there's a lot of people who can do that sort of thing. But that was, he was way ahead of his time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You walked. I remember walking out with friends then, and they're like, "Whoa!" Just I think I was Shredder that year for Halloween with that, if I remember right.
Oh, I'm
I think it
sure.
was.
I'm
Yeah, I
sure.
mean, why would you not be? So,
Well,
but
yeah.
again, you kind of beat the hell out of him. I remember breaking some blades off and having to do all that. So, it is what it is. But at least we had fun with it.
Yeah, and I think that was the point. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the whole point.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a top one. So, why don't you give me a bad one? You said you had a bad one.
Only one. It's not necessarily bad. You don't want to knock people. It's just that.
You don't have to say who it was from.
No, of course I will. So Grandma,
Yeah, I hope it wasn't from me.
I don't want to blame Grandpa Henry, but it was probably 90% Grandma Henry. And you know this, that one, well, not that one year, but for multiple years, we kind of got the same gift, but our cousin Justin picked up his gift before he opened it. And he's like, oh, I wonder what color sweats or sweatshirt I got this year. That would be it. Cause and God bless Grandma and Grandpa Henry. They just got us stuff that they thought we needed. That's fine, obviously. But they're just getting us as kids, getting us clothing,
Yeah.
It's not
No
a
kid likes.
bad gift per se, but it's not really
Yeah.
understanding.
I actually
But
didn't mind it. I thought those were. I remember one year they got me this. And again, we were talking about this before the show. You remember this stuff when you watch it on home videos
yeah,
over and over and over
right.
and over. I remember one year they got me this green like sweatsuit that I actually really liked. I wore that thing all the time.
Well, it was a gift, so you had to. And so Dad just sent me a message, and he said yes on the Ford, and it was Jeff, and he did it with boxes. So
Oh, okay. All right.
there you
All right.
go. All
Yeah. See,
right. Well,
mom and
good.
dad will know. Yeah. Yeah. There you
That's
go.
helpful.
See.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, like you just no kid wants clothes, and that's just a kid. Because as an adult, obviously we get a lot of different people clothing, shirts, hoodies, whatever, and it's definitely more appreciated as an adult. But
Yeah.
I'm sure mom and dad are finding it too, because it's like, well, then we don't have to buy the kids. We buy them one less pair of pajamas or sweatshirt or
Yeah.
whatever it may be. Because I remember, I think you had the one. It was in a video that we saw not too long ago. It was like green, and it had like the 2 or 3 white stripes on.
That's the one I was talking about. Yeah.
Is that the same one? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you probably had one in blue and red, and
Yeah. I actually liked them. Yeah. So that was me.
I mean, you were wearing it,
I was wearing it. Yeah. I remember Grandma and Grandpa came over. I think it was the day after Christmas, and I was wearing it and messing
Oh,
around.
well,
So,
there you go.
I remember that. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
remember any other gifts unfortunately, from Grandma and Grandpa Henry. I really don't. I just don't
I remember they gave us money a lot. They gave us cash a lot.
Okay.
Or a check.
And that's
Yeah,
never bad.
Yeah. They had I mean, how many grandkids they had? Like 10 or something like that. I mean, there's a bunch.
Do we include the weird ones?
Well, you could
Quite
put
a
us in that
group.
you could put us in that category too. So, all right, there's no way anybody can ever beat my worst one ever, because my worst one ever is so off the wall and so ridiculous and so insane. You'll never. I don't even know if you know about this. Okay?
Who would have gotten you something like
So
that?
this was well, that's the thing. Okay, so this was at my work. This was at IT, where Dan and I used to both work. We both worked as form developers. So
No wonder. Okay.
yeah, we did the white elephant or Secret Santa, whatever it is. Okay, so this dude.
Oh, I may remember now.
You remember now. This dude walks in. Okay, it's the biggest present, right? So you could pick what you want. So I always pick the biggest present because I just think that it's going to be the best. Well, this was not the best. This is the worst. This guy was a weirdo to start with. He's one of our base developers. Weird guy. I mean, what was his
that
name?
from Nathan or Nate or whatever his name was?
No, not that dude. That's the guy who tried to be Spider-Man and walk out onto the roof.
Oh, right.
Wes. This is from Wes.
Oh.
So obviously,
Yeah.
he didn't have anything, right? So he found it necessary to go into the dumpster at work, and he pulled out this big, giant, greasy, like oven hood.
It's a range hood.
It's a range hood.
Yeah.
It's all greasy and dirty and nasty. He wrapped the damn thing up and he set it in there as a gift. And me being the idiot I am, I picked the biggest gift, which is the dirty, nasty. I mean, Julie, my wife, she was sitting next to me and she saw a look at my face and she's like, "Oh boy."
Like, oh yeah, everyone's just
I was shocked. I had nothing to say. Then I was pissed. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? I don't know if he thought it was a joke. He's one of those guys who, he's just, he can talk to computers better than people. Maybe that's it. But I have never seen anybody take a used oven hood that's all greasy, wrap it up, and give it away as a Christmas present.
in front of all his coworkers.
In
You
front
know
of
what?
like half of the damn company.
Remember on season 2 of The Office when they're doing that and Creed forgot about Jim's gift, so he pulls an old sweatshirt out of his, or an old button-up shirt out of his closet, stuffs it in a grocery bag, and gives it to him.
He's like, this
And then
is
he
like,
admits, he's like, "That's exactly what happened."
yeah,
Kind of like that. Only
yeah.
I think I'd rather have had the old shirt than
I've told
someone's
that story
old
so many
used
times, and every
raincoat.
time people are like, "Are you serious? You're making that up. That can't be real." No,
No,
I'm
no, I
serious.
was there too. Yeah,
Ask
that
Dan.
was.
He saw it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me. Yeah. Well, I think he ended up taking it back because he was embarrassed. He realized, like,
Yeah, I think so. I think he meant it as a joke, is what
yeah,
happened.
and like that is funny. It's just that, you know.
Yeah, he took it back. I don't even remember what I replaced for. And I felt bad at the end because I was really pissed off. I was like, oh my gosh, what the
Well, all
hell?
I remember is I had gotten a gift, and then I ended up picking my own gift on purpose, just like Kevin with the split
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
on The Office, and I did that on purpose because I was like, man, I can't. Or maybe it was the range hood that convinced me. I can't chance this, so I'm just going to take what I got, and I know what I'm getting.
Yeah.
I don't need like a pair of used underwear or
Yeah.
or an old shoe. I don't need. Who knows what
Right.
could have happened? So
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
No, that
So,
takes the cake. So
I mean, I don't know how it gets much worse than that, unless you get dumped or like divorced on Christmas. I mean, the greasy oven hood is like tops.
All right,
for
so the pajamas
shitty
or the
Christmas presents.
sweatshirts from Grandma and Grandpa Henry are.
I told you it
tremendous.
wasn't that bad.
Yeah, no, that forgot about the range hood.
It's not that bad at all.
What a weird thing that. Wow.
These are developers, man.
Did we? I don't even know if we ever told Mom and Dad about that.
Mm.
Well,
I
they
think
know
I told
now,
Mom
but
yeah, they know now. So I think
No,
I
that's
told Mom and
pretty
Dad about that. Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Fun time, pals. What's up, man? I got a dirty bird feeder last year at our office white elephant.
Oh my
We did it with our
god.
volunteers, and it was gross. I'm pretty sure it had mold on it. Oh my god.
Hey, that's up there with an old used range hood. Although
That's
the
good.
range hood
That's
didn't
a
have
good
mold.
one, man. That's a good one. Oh my
Oh
god.
jeez.
You're gonna have to
Man,
give us your best one because that's pretty damn bad.
that's rough.
Hmm.
I mean, it takes some nerve to do that, like at an office Christmas party. Like, what if your boss ends up picking that present and they find out it was you? I don't know.
God, dude, it would have been Hendrix. That idiot wouldn't have known no better. Well, who cares?
Oh.
You just sit there and blame me for it, or you for it, or Tammy, or April.
Oh. No comment.
I mean,
no comment.
It's fine. So.
Woo.
All right.
Anyway.
Well, I think that's the only really bad one I can think of. That I mean, it's so bad. It's like everything else pales in comparison. Like what I used to think was bad is not really that bad.
Well, but the good part of it is it wasn't like to you. You just happened to pick it. So had it like literally been like, oh, you pick a name and it's like Secret Santa.
Yeah.
And he's like, to Chris. That.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yukon
No,
Phil,
it doesn't.
sorry.
It doesn't matter. Nobody watches. It's fine. What do I care? Less.
Oh man.
All right. Give me another good one.
Oh my gosh.
Get off the negativity. Get a good one.
Well, the range hood killed the mood, didn't it? So one that Mom and Dad reminded me of earlier was good, and we believe it was 1989 because they were released earlier in the year. But the Game Boy. So what had happened, according to Mom and Dad, was we went on Black Friday to Walmart or wherever it was, and Mom asked us like, "Hey, do you boys know where those are in the store?" And we were like, "Yeah." So we ran in and we got 2 of them, and those were our Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
But I think we were like every other kid that you were like, even nowadays, like there's like the gift for kids, like like when those lunatics had their Tickle Me Elmos and they were like selling their houses or paying 20 grand or whatever they're doing. But yeah, the Game Boys, to my recollection, were like the gift.
That was a big one. Mm-hmm.
It was a big deal. But yeah, we ended up getting those, and Mom and Dad, took us on. Geez, God bless them, took us on Black Friday out at like 4 or 5 a.m. to track them down, and it's like and that's what's interesting about reading stuff like this is like it goes in line with like the Uncle Jeff gifts where it's the gifts are cool, but man, the stuff that went into that from the
Yeah.
person getting and giving the gift, like that's the real gift in itself. Like
Right.
go that extra mile and put all this effort in and put their time into it, whatever it is like. But yeah, that I remember playing that thing to death though. So
Yeah.
remember having Mortal Kombat on there and
Oh yeah. Well, that was great for road trips. I took it a lot too, and I have
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat too, and I played the crap out of that thing. I mean,
yeah.
so much I think I made mom and dad mad. I remember that was one thing. That was like the first thing they took away whenever we got in
but
trouble.
that's just it. That's just it. Like if there's a gift a kid that wants that much and they get it, if you misbehave, that's the first thing.
That's the first thing that goes.
As it should be.
Yep.
But fun fact about those, I was looking it up. So when they were released in 1989, they were $89.
Oh damn.
But with it being Black Friday, we probably got them a lot cheaper.
Yeah, they were probably like 40 or 50 bucks.
But man, $89 in '89, it's like, you're talking almost $200 probably today. Like that's not for this little gaming unit in black and white. I mean that. Yeah. That's a big deal. Back then.
Yeah. So. Boy, you know what? That kind of slipped my mind that we did that. I thought I knew we had one, but it slipped my mind how we got it. So yeah.
Yeah. No, that. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Well, that's back in the day when you could have an almost 6-year-old and a 9-year-old run through Walmart on Black Friday and it would be okay.
Right.
I mean, talk about a sign of the times. I think it was at Walmart, but I mean anywhere, it doesn't matter, I guess. But yeah, try doing that now.
No, yeah, you cannot do it now. Yeah.
Well, now you just use Cyber Monday instead. That's all.
Dude, I did all my Christmas shopping online. I mean, I sent you guys stuff, and it's just the easiest thing to do now. It's just you go to the stores now, and you're like, why am I doing this when I can get a better deal online?
Yeah,
have it delivered to my house. All I got to do is wrap the damn thing. It's no fun going out there now because people are total jerks. It's tough.
Well, sure, but not only that, but your selection online is times a million. I mean, it's like anything you can think of, you can get. I mean, 90% of things you can find on Amazon. It's like, well, that way. I mean, you're not going out and getting it, but you're finding stuff. You're going to be able to find what the person really wants or potentially wants. So it's, a little less formal. Like I had texted you the other day, it's a little less formal, but you're getting that person exactly what you're looking for.
Right. Well, got to pay the shipping. Shipping's a freaking nightmare. A lot of times stuff comes late. You don't want it after Christmas, and it's like, it's no big deal.
Right.
I'll wrap it for you. It's no big deal. I don't care. What do I care? So
yeah. Well, exactly.
So, good one, man. Yeah. I got a couple others, but I'm going to save them. So I'll do the one that's sticking in my mind right now. So I think it was probably our second or third Christmas. My wife got me a Bible, and she got my name imprinted into it, and she wrote a little blurb, the kind of thing wives do for husbands and stuff. So that was I think that was for Christmas. Well, let's say it was.
It was now.
But yeah, it was real nice gesture because I had a Bible before, but didn't have one. So she got me one. I think it was probably our second or third Christmas. Maybe might have been the first one married. So yeah, that was a nice gesture and really nice for her to get it that that kind of inscribing with the name and stuff. So
yeah,
that was a good one. I still have that Bible.
Definitely, that's pretty darn high up there. Yeah, it's hard to do that.
The elf on the shelf,
personalized like that, it's just it matters that much more. It's so.
The elf on the shelf stole it last night and was reading Luke 2.
You know what? If he needs to do that, I think that's good. The elf on the shelf.
Yeah, well, it's Christmas. He was reading the birth of Jesus Christ, so there you go.
Good for elf on a shelf.
Elf on
He's
the
humbling
shelf.
himself.
Now, elf on the shelf now has there's two of them now. So we've got Benny and we've got Snowflake. We have a girl this year, so they just came back because somebody decided to touch them and they had to go away and get their magic back for a week.
I think I know who that.
Take a wild guess who did that.
The young man that did that.
Yeah, the young man. Yes, the young man did it. So they were caught reading the Bible this morning, so that was cool.
Oh, good. That's good. Good for Elf on a Shelf.
Yeah.
Good for you, Benny. Just don't listen to Benny Hinn if you're going to get into
Oh
preachers.
God, no.
Anyway.
You want to? It's like sitting in the furnace, man.
Yeah, you went out for a sec there.
Oh, am I there?
Yeah, you're here.
Okay, yeah, that's no good. You don't want to listen to that guy.
No. Oh boy. So, all right. I guess it's me. Yeah. Okay, so here's one that's pretty funny. I must have been. I think I was 2. Mom and Dad will know for sure. I should have asked. So when I was 2, I had this blanket that was, I don't know how or why.
Oh yeah.
The geeky or whatever.
Geeky.
That was like
the correct term is geeky. Geeky. So let's hold on. You got to do a backstory on this. So Dan,
feel free. I don't remember it.
Oh, I do. And Mom and Dad do too. So this thing was like pink and blue, if I remember right. Right? Pink and blue. I think that's right. Dad will probably takes you into
I know it's blue for sure.
Well,
at least, but.
Dan here had a thumb sucking problem. No, he has 2, so that's understandable.
Yeah.
But he was like, okay, so to give context, he was like Linus. You know, Linus is with his blanket from the Peanuts.
Yeah.
He takes his blanket over. Dan was just like that. So my grandma told him that if she got him this particular thing, I won't spoil it because I'll let you say it, that he had to give up the geeky and he had to quit sucking his thumb. And that was the deal. And by God, Dan did it. So what was
Grandma's
the thing that replaced
bartering? Yeah.
Bartering. Yes, your grandma was bartering.
With it being, I believe it would be 1980. Yeah, it'd be 1985 or 6, one or the other.
Like 86 or 87. Yeah, somewhere in that area.
Yeah, because my birthday is, only about 3 weeks after Christmas. So it's always like, okay, if I'm 2 on Christmas, that means I'm basically 3. So
yeah.
I'm not sure, but 85 or 86. So yeah, Grandma was like, hey, I'll give you this thing if you give me that. So I traded up the geeky for it was about probably an 18 or 20 inch
let me
soft Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And I think it was a good trade now that I think about it. Because
yes.
Yeah, then the Stay Puft, he lasted forever, and
he did.
He had the little Ghostbusters logo, real small, and on the back of him. I remember that even kind of broke off, and so yeah, he had some wear and tear to him, but yeah, that's one that I've always remembered. Just have, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
So this is him right here.
Is it that one?
It's this one. Oh, it's not coming up. Hold up. Okay, well, I've got like 6 freaking things open. Hold on. So it's the one right there. See where my curtain? You probably can't. It's the 4th one over to the right. Yeah,
that looks about right.
Yeah, that was it. That was the one. That's the one that got you. So, yeah, but I mean, the funny thing is, you did it. You were not hesitant really to do it. Damn it. I'm trying to get it to come up. Hold on. You weren't even hesitant. Like, you gave up that geeky like it was nothing. Like, you didn't even argue or fight. Yeah, it was like this.
I think that is it. Yeah, because the eyes look very familiar. Is there an image of the back of it? Because I think there's a little Ghostbusters logo on.
Yeah, it was on his
real
butt.
Small. Yeah, I think it's on its butt.
Yeah, this might be a more up-to-date one because it doesn't.
That could be. It was virtually the same, though.
Yeah. So there you go. That's all Dan needed was a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man to get rid of the geeky.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, okay, so you were almost 3. That's actually not that bad that you still had a blanket and you were,
Yeah, I don't think that's
not that bad.
I don't know how long kids on average carry a blanket and suck their thumb. I don't know, but
I mean, my kids didn't get rid of the. My daughter got rid of the pacifier when she was like 3.5, and my son got it about 3.5.
Oh.
3.5. So.
Well, there you go. So I was ahead of them, I guess. But I don't know what the right answer is.
Yeah. Well, again, we had to do something. We had to do something kind of like you did. So, like with both of them, they like bunnies. So he said, "Okay, well, you got to give it up because the bunny needs to give it to the baby bunnies." And they're like, "There you
All for the bunnies,
go." Like,
yeah.
okay, well, I didn't know the bunny trick was gonna work, but all right, cool. The bunny trick works.
What is it? It's like on Home Alone when Marv's like, he's a kid. Kids are stupid.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, this there's no bunny sucking
Oh
mouse
man,
fingers.
yes,
No,
it's like a child. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. All right, I'm gonna do this one because we actually just let me get Google real quick because we just watched this in July when I was in Colorado visiting my family. So
Oh, you're going with that one,
yeah, I'm gonna steal yours.
huh?
Uh, gotta find it first. There
Just
we go.
type in 1987.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You should see how much money this thing's going for.
When we got them, they were like, I think $20 or something like
Yeah, they were like 20, $30. Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So this is
Yeah.
obviously the Ghostbusters Proton Pack, which again, I remember shooting it. It had a little trigger. I remember doing it so much that it broke it. It would like the trigger would not work anymore. I think I broke the spring because I was
Yeah.
doing it so much. And the cool thing about this, it came with the PKE meter that went up there. And then I remember for my birthday, which was in July, after the Christmas we got this, I got the trap and the goggles. So you could like hook
Okay.
everything onto it, you know.
Well, and
And
the
then
trap had, you could step on it and like it had the tube, and so the air would push it and
right,
open
right.
it up. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember we did a thing, you know. I so I we saw that video and I totally forgot that mom and dad got us the walkie-talkies like they've got in the movie too.
Oh yeah,
And
they went all out. Yeah.
so you've got the walkie-talkie and you got so much crap on your pants that your pants are
Yeah.
falling down.
Well, I'm wearing my pajamas.
Yeah. Yeah.
When it must have been the Proton Pack. I'm assuming it came with the little Ghostbusters armband.
It did, yeah.
Um, and you'd put that on, and then you got the goggles on, and then you got the belt on, and then you got,
Right.
you know,
You
the
got the
whole.
PKE meter. You got it came with a stream. Remember it had the stream?
Yeah, it was Nerf, I believe.
It was a Nerf stream. Yeah.
Like a Nerf,
Yeah.
like kind of like a Nerf pool noodle almost.
Right. Yeah. It's like a small pool noodle. Yep.
Well, but that's what mom and dad did though. They always got thoughtful gifts, but they went all out. They didn't leave anything
Yeah.
out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, if he has this, he needs this with it and this, and even if you
Right.
get it over,
Yeah, it was
Christmas
over a
and
period of time.
birthday,
Right.
and then but it still got it all
Yep.
together, which was really cool. So
Yeah.
well, because on the deck at that house in Thornton, you had room to roll out the trap, and you could.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I remember
push
doing
this
that. I
stuff.
remember having a party and I remember doing it there. Yeah,
Yeah.
at the party and everything. So, but the funny thing about this, the way the story goes, I think I've told mom and dad this before, but I think dad left it in the trunk one day and we were at the mall and we went to the mall or something, all four of us, and dad had to get in the trunk for something. And I was taking a nap to the mall. And I was like 6 or 7 or 8 or whatever it was. And I remember dad's in the trunk and he had it covered up mostly, but I saw just a little peek of it. And he's all, get away from there. And he slams the door. But I was kind of groggy. And I was like, I think I saw it. Could just be my imagination. Maybe I didn't see it because I know that was like the number one thing we wanted that year. But yeah, I remember, I think he had it covered up, but maybe not quite good enough. And I was pretty confident that we were going to get that year after that. That was like maybe like a week or two before Christmas. So
Yeah.
But I remember getting that. I remember us just flipping out.
Well,
we
how
were
could you
going
not? I
nuts
mean,
for it.
that
Yeah.
pretty
was-
pretty pretty great gift.
Oh yeah.
Now, if you want one from then, it's what? Oh, 500.
So this one is in mint condition. This only set you back $532. I was looking at getting another one. and I told you this. I told mom and dad this too in July because over at Gambit's they got one. Okay, it's got the box. It's got everything in it. I went to hold that damn thing, and I'm like, why is this so freaking small? Well, I'm an adult now, not a kid whose
Yeah, well,
hands
I mean,
are a quarter
they're
my
not
size.
that big.
They're like
Like
that
if it's
freaking
meant to
big.
fit a four
A
and
child. Yeah.
yeah, if it'll 4-year-old, a six
And
year
I'm
old.
looking at him like this thing's a piece of junk. I'm not paying $200 for this.
Well, but that's just it. Like for that price, like that's
Yeah.
insane. Like it's for kids and it was made
Yeah.
in 19.
Hmm?
Well, and I don't know when they came out. I guess they must have come out in 87 then, because
This
the
is
movie came out in
86.
84. But I don't know.
Well, Real Ghostbusters, the cartoon, came out in 86. So this came out
Oh, that was
right
from
after.
that as opposed to the movie.
Yeah, this is from the cartoon. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
more sense then. Okay.
All the stuff, like all the stuff I have and all the toys, all from the cartoon.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. See, I don't know all that apparently.
Yeah. Not a lot of stuff from the movie because the movie wasn't really geared towards kids. It was geared more towards adults.
Right.
So the reason they did the cartoon was so they could gear it towards kids, and that's where everything came from. So
yeah. Makes sense.
yeah, but yeah, I remember just beating the hell out. We weren't in one bad thing about me and Dan. Excuse me. We were not nice to our toys. We didn't.
Most kids aren't, though. I mean, really.
We didn't take care of our toys. I remember being upset about that, especially now as an adult. Like we beat the hell out of those things. I mean, we beat the hell out of them. You know, we'd get some scheme or some stupid idea to turn the proton pack into a missile launcher or do something stupid. And
whatever.
I remember for instance, I remember just a few weeks after we got that, or maybe it was the next year, you got that ghost popper thing, the thing that shot the little yellow things like the stream. So what did we do to get more of those?
Yellow, like kind of Nerf ball kind of thing?
Yeah, we took the stream and we cut it into sections. That way we had more ammo
gosh.
for the we had more ammo for the ghost popper. Yeah. That's a stupid shit we did, It's like, oh.
Yeah, that's pretty well, you know why? Because you don't, like, as a kid, you can you say, what do you say? You say thank you, but you don't know what having true appreciation for something or someone's efforts or the gift that someone got, you don't, and taking care of it, you don't understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're doing that now, it might be a problem. But because, if somehow you were transported back in time and, you were able to do it, you could definitely take better care of that, I would think.
Well, and the thing is, you want to, like, I wouldn't be too hard on myself. You want to play with it, but like, don't beat the hell out of it or destroy
or
it.
cut it up.
I remember mom and dad saying, "Why are you so rough? Don't destroy your toys." We did some.
Well, because they cost money that you damn kids aren't earning and
right, yeah.
Have some. Well, it's just having respect for the whole
thing.
Yeah. It's like now it would be. I mean, hopefully it would be a little better.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
Like, it's kind of like when. It's funny because as soon as you're old enough and you buy your own car, or you buy your own clothing, whatever. Oh, suddenly you're all, I don't want anything to happen to us. And then if someone does something, you get mad. It's like, well, now because it's your own money and your own job and your own effort and everything else. But that's all kids, man. They, you don't know.
Oh yeah, I see my kids.
Your parent can tell you something, but it doesn't mean you fully understand.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you need to appreciate that. Like, oh, okay, but. What does that mean?
Yeah. Well, I say it all the
time.
Thank
you when I got it, but isn't that enough? Like,
that's not enough. Yeah. I see my kids throw, my son will throw a Skeletor across the room. Like, dude, what are you doing? You're going to break it. Stop it. Gosh.
Skeletor.
Jeez, man. It's like have more respect for it.
Well, that's that stage of life, though. You just
is
don't
what
know.
It is.
Yeah.
Sorry, I knew that was one of yours, so I stole one.
Well, that's expected, though, right?
Yeah, it's one of the best ever.
Yeah. So I know there's one. Let's see. You probably have that one, so I'll do the other one. So I don't know. I think it may have been from Grandma Picorni, but I don't remember. But that one year, you and I we actually got 22 rifles.
Oh yeah.
22 caliber rifles, not 22 different rifles. Let me explain. No, a rifle that's a 22 caliber.
Oh yeah, yep.
A single shot bolt action
Yep.
rifle, each of us,
Yep.
and so
Yep.
so that was wild. That was awesome. Obviously, like one of us, I think it was me that thought it was a BB gun, and Uncle Jeff's
No,
like,
it might have been both of us, but I know I did. I thought I
Yeah.
didn't realize at the time that it was
very
real.
naive kids.
Yeah.
And I don't know who actually got it for us. I know Mom and Dad probably had to give the green light, of course.
I think those
So
were Grandpa's. Grandpa, I know I got mine from Grandpa.
It probably was. Probably was.
Yeah.
So yeah, as our first guns, and I don't know what year that was. It was probably.
I think it's close to the same. I think I was maybe 9 or 10.
Probably late 80s then.
Yeah.
Or early 90s.
Late 80s, early 90s.
It was close to the same time as the proton packs, I would think. It was probably within a year or two, maybe. Maybe it was even the same year. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, it was in that same time frame. But funny how all this stuff is in the 80s.
Yeah.
Or early 90s. Because when you get older, you appreciate gifts more, but you tend to remember them less, just because it's not the same effect as an adult, as a kid, obviously, like that joy with it all. Doesn't mean you appreciate it more, but yet with a kid, But no, those were wild gifts, like really, really awesome gifts, obviously, but you don't expect that as a kid, like, hey, I got a gun. That's, a real gun. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I remember that. And I remember, again, home movies help so much because when you were saying that, I remember exactly my reaction to it because I did think it was the BB gun.
Yeah, you were a total dork. Like, really, you probably should have been bullied more as a kid, just like that nerdiness. But anyway.
You see what I live with, people, or what I used to live with?
Yeah, your teeth were all crooked, and you had like.
Well, at least I didn't get ID'd when I was 35 to a rated R movie.
No. Oh well, maybe. Yeah, that probably happened. Actually. Hey, that's a compliment, man. The older you get, the more of a compliment that is.
At least I was tall enough to go on the Twister by the time I graduated high school.
That's also fair. I was only 5'6" when I graduated high school. Yeah, but at least I went on the roller coaster in Texas and didn't get all, scared. And I'm pretty sure also in Texas I went in the swimming pool and didn't stand shivering like some cowardice weakling. I got others.
Yeah, gloves are off. All right.
Kids are dorks, man. Like most kids are nerds. Like your kids aren't.
Yeah.
Your kids are not. No, they dorky like we were. We were just total like nerdy. But you more than me. Yeah. But I had a really fat bulbous head as a kid. You looked at those videos when I'm like 3. It's like, where's his neck? Why is his head so huge? It was like a perfect sphere.
It's like you're walking like this.
Yeah, exactly. Like to turn it to, if you say, hey, Dan, he doesn't do this. He has to turn
the whole body.
Yeah.
The whole body's got to turn.
One of those guys. So.
Yeah, at least I didn't throw an epic temper tantrum for the ages because I didn't get adult large Ghostbuster pajamas in Target.
But I did get them because I went, and then Mom had to cut like 6 or 8 inches off the pant leg.
Like the whole pant leg. What would be shorts for a normal person were perfectly pants for you.
Hey man, if you saw those, I don't even know if you wear pajamas. That's irrelevant. But if you saw those in the store now, you'd be buying those Ghostbusters. They were Ghostbusters.
I think didn't they glow in the dark?
They probably did, but they were mostly like this light yellow, and then they had.
Yeah, they were the yellow. Yeah. You couldn't get the damn things off them for like 6 months.
Well, no, if you're going to raise a
stink, you took a bath for like 6 months. Nobody could get them off you.
Well, probably not. But if you're going to raise a stink like that to get something, you better put it to good use.
Yeah, you better go full bore. You better go all the way. Right,
that's not something you can do and then.
No.
Oh, never mind. Like that's not going to work.
Because your ass is in trouble, so you better go through it.
I should have got my butt whooped for that.
You should have. I think Dad probably did.
Well, but he wasn't there though. I don't think, was he? No.
That's the only
That's
reason
the
you got
only
away with it.
reason that I probably acted
That's
that
the only
way.
reason you got it. Yeah.
Not that mom didn't discipline, but
Oh no. I remember that temper tantrum like it was the other day. Your mom was fit to be tied with you, but it was the only way to shut you up
which yeah. But
because you wouldn't stop.
nowadays you have people in their 30s doing that. So hey,
Yeah, you do.
I was only a couple years old, so
Yeah, same.
and I didn't
Teach the
have the
time.
ability back then to make a TikTok video of it. So
Yeah, right. I mean, you probably went viral with it.
which is all that matters.
Anyway,
Good attention.
back to the gun. But yeah, I was surprised by that because I didn't think we had gone shooting with Grandpa maybe a couple of times.
Yeah,
It
well,
wasn't a lot.
our family knew guns, and they still know guns, and they were very safe about it. They always have been, still are, and they would teach us at a young age to not be afraid of a firearm, but you respect the heck out of it and understand the dangers of it, but also learn how to actually use it and realize that it's a tool and it's not evil in itself because it's an object and you're the one controlling it. So you learn all that, and that's why it's good at like a younger age.
That went through to when we were adults because I used to go trap shooting with Grandpa all the time, and you did too. But I went with him quite a bit. I mean, and it was left-handed, really good, and
and it's smart because it's a safer gun because it's a big long rifle, and 22 is a small caliber. Not that it's not dangerous, of course, but it's not like you're handing a kid, a semi-auto, 9mm or 45, or handing them an AK-47 or something. Like you start with something that's a little safer.
Yeah, right. Exactly. No, that's a good one. I didn't forget about that. I still have the gun. It's in my gun safe. Still have the gun. Always will have that gun. I'll never get rid of that gun. Actually, a lot of the guns that I have either were given to me by Dad or by Grandpa.
Right. I still have. I think I have that 22. So, but I have Grandpa's 357.
I have one of Grandpa's 357s too. Yep.
Yeah, which that's. I'm not big on like holding on to objects that a loved one that's passed away had, but I think like Mom and I and Dad have talked about extensively, like one or two or three things, like of course, like that makes sense.
Like I've got that from Grandpa Picorni, then from Grandpa Henry, I have that table that he passed down to me. It's actually in my family room. It's a really old table from like the 1930s or 40s.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I was the oldest Henry boy. You didn't get it. So, yeah. Yeah, so I've got one thing from each grandfather. I got a couple things from Grandpa Picorni, but one thing. I'm working on getting something else from Grandma Picorni, which is that aggravation set. So if my cousin...
So that, I think Mom is I think Uncle Jeff actually made that game, and then Grandpa, I think he made it for them. I could be wrong on that, but I think he made it, and then they had it. It was theirs. So that's so that maybe I don't know if that even makes it more valuable because it's like never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, that's a one of a kind because then that's just another thing.
Yeah.
So hopefully I get my hands on it one day.
Yeah, well, that would I think that'd be nice because that's something that's like, and then like with the marbles and everything, it's, I mean, Grandpa played that thing to death. Well, Mom too.
Well,
all of us.
We all did, yeah.
But it was always fun because Grandma was we were joking the other day. Grandma was like a total savage,
ruthless,
like, nicest lady in the world.
She wasn't fun to play.
Yeah, she'll cut your throat. Like,
it didn't matter if you wanted the grandkids or not. You're getting your ass whipped by Grandma.
Yeah. Oh man, that was good stuff.
Good one. So, very good one. Very good one. Yeah, the sentiment, like you said, the sentimental ones really stick with you.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like that's what's interesting about gifts too. Like that is like, oh, it's neat because it's this, but whose it was or who made it or who bought it for you, whatever. That's ultimately the point,
Yeah.
So you learn that more and more.
Right. Hold on a sec. I'm trying to find my next one here. Now this one, actually, you got, but I'm gonna steal it.
Fine by me. I probably won't remember anyway. Or maybe I will.
So it was this bad boy right here.
Oh, good. I get a picture.
Yeah, give me one sec here.
Oh, yeah. That was
97.
Yeah, we had stayed at Grandma and Grandpa McCorney's for some reason.
Snowed.
That's what it was. And then yeah, we had I think a lot of those gifts in their office, their spare bedroom, their other
Yeah,
room.
because we planned ahead because there was a good chance of snow, and
Right.
we brought everything with us. And remember, we waited for Dad because Dad was
Right,
working
right.
plowing snow.
Wow,
And
$225 now.
yeah,
No,
the damn
I
things
forgot
ain't
about
cheap.
that.
Do you remember where we kept looking at it from? You remember Biggs?
Oh yeah, at Thornton Town Center. Yeah, of
Or
course.
Town Center?
The
Yep.
first grocery store where you got to bag your own groceries, and we thought it was the coolest thing ever to bag our own groceries. But it was, man, big. Yeah,
Well,
big. All of Thornton Town Center. That
yep.
They had the arcade. They used to. Oh, at first they had like smaller rides in there.
They did. Well, that was where the arcade was too. That we spent a lot of time.
The arcade was there, and then there were some other shops that.
The
But
haunted
that's
house we
also
worked in.
where the very first haunted house that you and I worked at,
Yep.
that Wayne owned Nightmare at Thornton Town Center was in. So it was a rodeo before that.
Yep.
Like a rodeo thing, and then that closed because there were so many businesses in and out of there. But Biggs was the one thing that hung around, I think, basically till, and unfortunately till they leveled the whole thing.
Yeah. But that was like the first time they had a grocery store like with like a retail store combined. You know, it's like
did they?
yeah, because you remember it was a grocery store, but it was like this giant. You know, we had never seen anything like that. Like you know how Walmart is now. Walmart's got the grocery.
Right.
That
Right.
was the first time they ever did it, and that place is huge. I remember all of us being all just like, "Wow, this place is giant." You know, I remember I worked there. I worked there for a couple of weeks until
Did you?
I quit or something. I don't remember
So
what
you
happened.
got canned?
Yeah, probably. You got to actually show up to work there. So there's one of those.
That's 75% of things with jobs, showing up. Yeah.
Right.
Who knew?
Who knew? But we kept looking at this thing. We went there a lot. I remember Mom and Dad, you and Mom and Dad went there a lot. We kept looking at this thing and kept telling Mom, you know, and we were older too. Like I was 16 and you were 15, and we still wanted that thing.
But because those toys were coming out like in the
They were, yeah,
mid or late 90s. So,
Yep.
So you say 97?
Yeah.
So I would have been like 13-ish.
Yeah.
You would have been what, 16?
Yeah.
17?
Well, this is the whole thing that got me into collecting all the stuff that I do now.
Right.
In the first place was Power of the Force, because for Easter, before Christmas, for Easter, Mom took us to Kmart. She's like, "Well, what do you guys want for Easter?" We're like, "I don't know." We were walking through the toys, just looking, because we always like toys, and we saw the Vader.
Well, that was at Kmart by
Kmart by Grandma and Grandpa's. Yep.
Old house. Yeah.
Yep. And then just went nuts on them from there. And the funny thing is, you actually had all this stuff, and you were actually into it more than me. You had all this stuff in your room to start.
Oh.
You had it all on you remember that desk that you had, that big computer desk, and it had all those shelves. You had on the top, you had all the figures, and then you had some vehicles and stuff. And then one day you're like, "Yeah, I don't really want this, Chris. You want?" I was like, "Hell yeah, look at all."
I went to Halloween and haunted house round.
Yeah, you went to that, and I took it all. Then I started having all in my room, and then I went and when we moved, we put it all in the basement. Dad put up some shelves for me, and I had some stuff down there. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Jeez.
Like the first big vehicle that I got when I was, more of an adult collector. So that's why that one means a lot. So
right.
Which I need to get that damn thing again. I don't even have it.
Oh, I think the guns light up when you're.
They did.
There's a lever to operate the guns, I think.
Lever, yeah. There's a little lever to make it light up, and then
And
you could open
it
the
takes batteries, I think,
six
and then
batteries. Yeah, it came with a couple of figures, and then it had a little
yeah,
thing, gun thing where you can have Luke Skywalker go up. And they've
right.
actually done another one that's a lot bigger, but I mean, it's outrageous. It's astronomical amount of money. It's close to that, like $500. This
Oh,
one's
that's
not quite
ridiculous.
as bad, but still, I mean, you can see it's $225. It's still not a cheap toy.
No, but well, again, when it's like we said, when it's a toy you had as a kid, especially if there's like that sentimental side to it, it's
Yeah, yeah,
and plus you because what I remember is then it opened up also and you like you said it had the grappling hook and I think what I'm trying to say is I think there's some justifiable reasons. I mean that's not an insane price I don't think because
well,
when they came out weren't they probably close to 100? I don't know.
it was $80.
Okay, well that
Yeah,
way counting inflation,
right.
that's not
About
horrible.
where it should be. Yeah,
Easy
yeah,
for
it's
me to
true.
say I'm not the one,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, here's what you do though. If you chose you wanted that, and you do this all the time anyway. But as a reminder, you sell a few things. Maybe you're like, even if you recoup only $50, so
Yeah,
now you're only paying 170.
right,
Or if
right.
you sell $100 worth of stuff, now you're only paying 120. So it's less. You know, you anytime anytime you want something, you can there's things you can maybe give up to get it.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
kind of I learned that too. It's like you don't have to just
No, you don't got to fork over the 225. There's ways to get
yeah.
it. There's
Well,
there's
plus you
different
have
things you can
limited
do.
room anyway, so I'm over here just trying to convince you to get it. Is really what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm not going to do
Not
that.
to say what I'm saying isn't true, but that
Well,
was
it
a cool
just
toy.
yeah, it was a very cool toy. I really really liked that one, and yeah, I would like to get it back, but we'll see one day. Again, my problem right now, I mean, it's money, but right now, actually, space is the biggest problem because it's
Well,
like,
that's kind of the idea why you'd have to
yeah, I mean, I'd
sell
have
it
to get rid of
big
something big, and I don't really have anything right now big that I want to get rid of because
or 10 small things.
I don't really have 10 small things I want to get rid of. I got one piece of
I,
crap down here on the ground I'll get rid of, but other than that,
oh, well,
yeah,
there you go. But
yeah.
that's kind of that's the thing though is like you, and again I it's your money, but we can't always like penny pinch on everything. Sometimes it's okay
Oh,
if we
yeah,
we I hate the term like treat ourselves,
yeah.
but sometimes it's okay. You don't have to store
Well,
every last cent.
I can't do it because I just treated myself to this the other day. So I,
Well, when you treat yourself too damn often, that's when you got to.
sure do,
Is
sure do.
that a transformer?
No, this is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
Oh, from Ninja
Technodrome.
Turtles.
The
Did we have that
Technodrome.
as kids?
I have been trying to figure that out
I
ever
feel like
since.
maybe.
So this is a reissue. This is
Hey,
what
do
this
you have the
one.
pizza thrower?
I hold on, hold on. Let me
Oh,
go get. Let me go get
I'm
it.
sure we probably got that for Christmas.
That was actually on my list. Ah, crap, the
Oh,
iPhone. Hold
was
on.
it?
Let me go get it. Let me go get it. Move,
Okay.
Hershey. Hershey, get out of the way.
Hello,
Hershey,
Hershey.
move. Some production we got here. We just,
What?
some production we got here. We just, cut out and go grab stuff off the shelf. And
I don't
so
think it
yeah,
matters.
I got this a couple of years
Oh
ago.
my gosh.
Yeah, got it. It
Does
still
it
works
work?
too. Yep.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yep. So
Does it have pizzas though?
it's got most of the pizzas.
Oh
Well, I think
wow.
I'm missing like two or three, but yeah, it's got it. And this was another one that was on my list because, um, again, kind of like the catapults, we played with this one like crazy. We needed
Oh,
batteries for
I
this
mean
all the time,
it shoots
all the time.
pizzas like
Yeah, it's just
that.
pizzas. I mean,
That
come
was the
on.
early '90s, I'm assuming,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that's the
And I
cartoons.
know. So
But
that was funny with us. We always had like these Christmases where they were like almost themed. So like 86 was like
yeah,
so many Transformers. I remember we got Metroplex, we got Hotspot, we got like some of the Stunticons. We like got a ton. Okay. But then like
right.
88, 89, we had Ghostbusters. But then when we got this, it was all Ninja Turtles. I remember asking mom and dad for so many Ninja Turtles, and we got like most of them. And most of them I have now. But yeah, this was part of that to where yeah, we played with this thing like crazy. And when I saw this for $50 a couple years ago in one of the vintage toy stores. I was like, well, I gotta have that.
Well, I'll say,
For that
yeah.
whole reason is that we got it at Christmas, and it's just got a lot of good memories to it. So also nice that it
Jeez.
works. So yeah,
Yeah, seriously. Oh, that thing's
yeah,
probably
yeah. It's 35
over
years old
30
about.
years old. I mean, it's
Yeah,
probably early 90s if I had to guess.
it's about 35 years old.
30, oh,
It's
jeez.
88, 89. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
That's wild.
And all the stickers are still intact too. It's pretty good. I mean, honestly, for $50, it's in really good condition.
Oh, so yeah, I mean, back in the day when you would get a toy and it came with a sheet of stickers and you had to put them all on.
Yeah, yeah. That
Which
thing,
was
that
actually
Technodrome.
cool now that I think about
So
it.
they're starting to go back to that. So that Technodrome that I just showed you, it took me an hour to put all the stickers on because that's like
Oh,
all the detail in it now. Is they're going back to the sticker thing. They want you to feel like it's
I like that though.
1989 again and
Yeah,
putting stickers on. I mean, it's fun, but if you're an adult who's got a full-time job and everything else, it's kind of a pain in the ass to find an hour to
that's
put
fair. That's
to
fair.
put stickers on a toy.
Well,
So
you don't
it's
trust the
like,
kids to do it. Like, hey,
oh God, no, they would have screwed it all up.
I don't
That
need
doesn't go
I can't
there.
screw up my toy.
No,
Yeah.
you ruined the whole thing.
Oh man.
So there you go, Ninja Turtle stuff. So there you go. I did two. So it's your turn. Let's each do one more, then we'll wrap it up.
Okay, good because I only have one more. That's
Okay.
so I can't put my finger on the year. You'll probably know it's late '80s sometime, but getting the Nintendo, man,
Yeah.
the original.
Yep.
Would not be '86 because we got it in the house in Thornton 122nd is when we got it.
Yep.
87 was all the Ghostbusters stuff. It must have been 88, maybe.
Somewhere in there. Yeah. Question is, did we get the Game Boys or the Nintendo first?
I think the Nintendo.
So then why did we get the Game Boys? We already had Nintendo. Was it because we were going on a trip or something? I mean, why did
That
we
may
want
have
the
been.
Game Boys?
That may have been.
Maybe that was it. I don't know.
But
Yeah.
the Nintendo was the big thing, and there's no way we got that the same year as like the Proton packs and all that. Like it was
No. The Nintendo was the main thing. I remember
Yeah.
that. I remember that.
Yeah, and then yeah.
Do you remember the story that goes with the Nintendo?
I'm sure I will when you tell it. But off the top of my head, I wish I did.
We were total little shits that year. We were horrible. We would fight and fight and fight, and Dad and Mom, especially Dad, kept warning us. It's like, seriously, if you don't stop your shit, you're gonna get coal.
Oh,
And he
and
kept saying it, and he kept saying it. So we got the Nintendo. Mom and Dad gave us grace when they probably shouldn't have. Got the Nintendo, but we also got a baggie full of Kingsford.
Hey man, at least
Your
there's a
stocking.
high-end brand of
Yeah, because the way it used to go, Santa used to leave toys in our stockings too. We'd get candy, and there'd be like a little toy in there. Nah, there's none of that this time. It's a baggie full of Kingsford, and then it had a bunch of writing on it that I couldn't really read as a kid. Something about we got lucky, and we need to get straighten up, and we need to not fight so much, and blah blah blah. And we thought he was full of crap the whole time. We thought Mom and Dad were full of crap, but no, sure enough,
They never are.
That was
and
the
they never
one and
have
only
been.
year we got coal that I remember. I don't know if you remember getting any more, but
No, I think that was probably it. I mean,
I remember too. I'm like, wow, Santa gives charcoal. He doesn't give coal. He gives like charcoal that you put in your grill.
He doesn't play, man. I mean, like, you don't reward bad behavior, right? So, no, I think I remember getting that and just being like, oh my gosh, like it was.
Mhm.
I remember. I don't think we were happy.
No, we were happy that we
be?
got the Nintendo, but we were pissed that we didn't get like candy or anything in the stockings.
Were we warned probably repeatedly?
Oh yeah,
probably.
Yeah. And I think that's
it's like, well, you little punks, you deserve what you got. So
that's why I think it was a little later, maybe like 89 or 90, because we were older and we were just fighting more. We didn't fight as much when we were little, so I'm thinking that's why it was.
Well, but if you're in 89 or 90, I'm 5 or 6, and you're going to be what, 8 or 9. Like I could see that.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. So, but yeah, I remember that. Like it's yesterday. I go in it was in my stocking. You remember that stocking I used to have? It was the Santa.
Our stocking.
Yeah, Mom made it. It was the candy cane train with the Santa in it. Oh yeah, that's it. She bought one of those kits and made it all nice. You had one too. I can't remember what yours was.
I don't either, unfortunately.
But yeah, I remember going in there and sure enough, there's a baggie full of Keens fruit. I'm like, damn, he
Well,
wasn't.
you reap
He
what you
wasn't
sow in life,
lying.
even at a young age.
Yeah.
So that's just. But you know what? That's good though, because you think of things like that, and it's like, man, that actually helps. Is something that helps shape you into who your parents ultimately want you to be. It's a form of discipline and correction that's one that hits hard, man. On Christmas as a little kid, you go downstairs and you get coal in your stocking. Like, yeah, that's a wake up call. It's good. It was very it's good that it happened. You know, it's like,
Some kids
oh
would be like, "Oh, well, I still got all," because we did. We still got a bunch of presents. Obviously, got a Nintendo and everything
yeah,
else. But
but
you know,
still like
it was
uh,
it did hit that it actually happened because you just think that mom and dad are full of crap, but they
but
weren't.
yeah, well, that's when, and maybe that wasn't the first time, but that's one of the times we learned when they're not, and then many times after we learned they don't just say stuff.
Right.
They're not just trying to blow smoke.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, it's funny
That's
because a
good.
lot of these things, there's a story behind most of these things that we're talking about.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I'm pretty much all of them. I mean, now that we've been talking about, like, um, so
Yeah.
that's good.
Yep. Geez, I don't even know if I have another one. Gosh. Like Metroplex is one. I'm not going to get him out because he's in a case, but I just remember the reason Metroplex stands out to me so much is because on that video, I'm sitting there and I'm doing something. I'm like 6 and you're like 3 or whatever it is. And the video's going and we're playing and stuff. And I must have not been doing something because all I remember hearing is mom saying, Chris, you let Dan play with Metroplex.
You transformer hog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
That's
you
why
know
that
what?
one always sticks out to me because I remember that on the video. Just on
Well,
the.
there's another one on a video. It must have been at not 122nd, but the house before that. I could be wrong. When I'm whining or crying and I'm saying, I think it's a transformer. I'm sitting there saying, that's my hot spot or hot
Yeah,
shot
that's
or
what
whatever
it
it
was
may
the
be.
same Christmas.
Was it?
Same
Okay, so
Christmas.
you were
Yeah.
being a total
Obviously, I was being a
transformer
total jerk.
hog.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember I was not happy with. So that would have been that house,
86.
right?
86. That was the house in Northglen.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. In the basement.
With the little toy room. Yeah.
The basement that was half finished. So the way it went, it was like half finished. That's where everybody was at. And then there was that little room that was like our toy room that was not not
Right.
as
Right.
finished. Yeah.
That's the only area of that house that I remember at all what it looked like. The rest of the house, gun to my head, I couldn't tell you anything
I
what it
can
looked like.
kind of remember
Not a
the
thing. But I was
upstairs.
2, so.
Yeah, the upstairs kitchen only because it's on the video.
Oh, okay.
When you see the video, it jerks, it triggers your memory.
Well, sure.
Yeah,
But I remember
but
most of the videos from that house being in that basement.
yeah. And
So.
I remember too, I think it was Aunt Leslie or Aunt Valerie sent me Transformers that year too. Yeah. Yeah. So
Far
that was
cry from the
that
gifts
was a
that
Transformer
Valerie sends
Christmas,
now.
man. That was a Transformer Christmas for you. So there you
But
go.
that's what you said earlier. Like, that's just what's so interesting. Like, I mean, as kids, of course, it's great. But now, looking back as adults, it's still just as great, actually, maybe even a little more. But the 80s and like most of the 90s, but especially the early 90s, just the stuff that was out, like whether it was movies or music or
Exactly.
TV shows or cartoons, and they made them into toys. It's like, my gosh, we had no idea the gold mine, like, of all the cool stuff.
Oh yeah.
Because you're saying, like, okay, 1 year's Ninja Turtles, 1 year's Transformers, 1 year's Nintendo, 1 year's Game Boys,
Mhm.
1 year's Ghostbusters or Proton Packs. And it's like 1 year we're getting friggin' rifles. Like, dang, we were spoiled, but we weren't. I mean, we weren't spoiled, but with the looking back now at how cool, like, everyone in that era, I guess, children and adults, everyone was just spoiled with, like, the cool stuff within pop culture itself, I guess.
Oh yeah.
But then as a kid, you're getting that as gifts. You're like, you don't know. I mean,
No.
it's cool at
Well,
the time, but now you're like, oh
and
my
that's like
god.
not even touching because there was so many kids. I don't know if you remember the GI Joe aircraft carrier. It's literally a
Yeah.
7-foot aircraft carrier that
You
they
know
made
what?
in the
Funny
80s.
you mentioned that. On Facebook, I follow some of these retro pages, and they showed a commercial for that exact thing. And like, I was just like, I watched it. I was like, this was just a couple days ago. I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yeah, it's
they
literally
made
7
such
feet tall.
epic stuff back then. See, like now, I don't know what. I know they rehashed a lot of re-release or remake Transformers and Ninja Turtles now, but it's like, that's like, it's like a remake of a movie. You're like, okay, but the
Yeah.
old stuff at that time, it's like, man, we will never replicate something like that.
No, no.
Especially as kids,
Well,
like you can't get anywhere near it. It's like,
yeah, yeah,
it's just, yeah, it kind of, it's, that sentimental side, sure, but
totally.
you know,
What's up, Brett? Good to see you, man. Thanks for tuning in. But if you go down the toy aisle, I've told you guys this all the time. All the stuff you see in the toy aisle now is exactly the same stuff you saw in the toy aisle back in the '80s because they can't think of anything new.
and I guess
And
that proves what I'm saying. I guess
it
that's my
does. It
point.
totally proves what you're saying
It's
because
like,
there's
well, we
nothing.
topped out in the mid '90s of the cool stuff we made.
You can look at
We
a
can't
couple
beat
of
that.
things.
Let's just go back.
Like Pokemon was pretty good for a while for some
But we were
people.
never into that.
No, Power Rangers. We were into Power Rangers, I think, for a minute.
Yeah.
Again, it was kind of stupid. So,
That
which now
was
it's
that was
really
a
stupid.
that was a little later in the '90s because I literally watched a commercial for that today, or it was it was like a news interview. A guy, they were in some store, I don't know what it was, but the guy was like, the employee is like, I think it was 1996 or 7, and the employee was like, yeah, we can't keep these Transformers toys or not Transformers, but
Power Rangers.
Power Rangers toys in stock, and he's like, and people are almost fighting over them, and all of a sudden I'm like, man, like,
Yeah.
that's kind of like, was kind of closer to the end, if you will. The late '90s into like 2000. It's with all that. It's like that's kind of when it's
Yeah.
kind of fell off the wagon, I guess.
No, it totally did. It totally did. And that's
Sure.
why people, if I could go back and have all my stuff that I had as a kid in box, I would probably be able to retire.
Oh well, if a proton pack is
Yes.
going for $532,
You know what a sealed Optimus Prime. I mean, you know what a sealed Megatron's going for. I've got one of those because mom and dad. So it's like all that stuff, sealed, mint in the condition it was back then. You'd be reeling in the money, man.
well,
And
that price tag is 5% of that price tag's for the toy itself. The rest of that price tags people are paying for nostalgia.
Yep.
And I don't fault them for it one bit. I
Yep.
understand that. Like, I completely get that.
The whole reason people do what they do is because they want to feel like they're a kid again.
Yeah.
When you
Well,
when you buy a toy, like now for me, for instance, when I buy a toy, I'm like, oh, that's cool. I look at it, it's modern. So it looks the way I want it to look, but it's like it's not the same. But when I buy a vintage toy, like this thing, it's almost like a transportation device. It's almost like that thing that they beam me up in Star Trek. Like takes you back when you're a kid. That's why
it does. But
Yeah.
the thing is now, like, you can't, you can get the same toy, but you can't get the 6-year-old you
No.
snooping around the gifts under the tree for 2 weeks and picking it up when the parents aren't looking and then opening it up on Christmas morning and all that. You can't ever get that aspect of it. So it's like it'll always fall short a little bit, and that
It does.
So
It does.
you do
It's
what
like
you can, with what you're saying, but
yeah.
and I think when if people try to replace that, I get it, but it's like,
You
yeah,
can't.
even now on Christmas Day, it's just kind of like,
Yeah.
It's cool, it's great being with family, getting gifts, but it's not anywhere near.
You've got
when you're a
really,
kid.
I mean, if you think about it from the point where you can remember things to the point where you're starting to grow out of certain stuff, it's like a 5 or 6 year window,
It's a short
and
window,
then
man.
it's a very small window,
'Cause then you become a teenager and you're just a douche about everything.
Right.
Like a problem with everything, and then you're wearing sweater vests, and then you're in high school.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dorks.
I didn't wear sweater vests. I don't know who would have done
I
that.
don't know who did that.
I can't believe they even
I don't
made
know.
sweater vests.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's true.
they look like Joey Fatone or whatever his name was up there.
Joey Fatone.
All the NSYNC guys or whatever, they had the sweater vests.
Well, I remember there being a really quick period where I wanted toys, and then I started wanting like MC Hammer pants.
That was the same era. That's the same.
It was.
That's
it was.
okay.
It was like once
That's like
the 90s hit.
Well, that's like wanting Thriller on vinyl. Like that's just as cool. Like, go for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
I mean, you're right. It just doesn't.
in '82 they're releasing Thriller on vinyl. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how you beat that. MC Hammer, yeah, you don't beat that stuff. So
No, you don't. You don't.
and like, that's what you kind of associate that with Christmas, of course, and things like that. So yeah, it's hard. You can't replicate that, man. It's
Yep.
sad, but it is what it is.
Well,
Now
and
you just
all the
wake up in the
talk.
morning without back pain. You're just as happy as you were.
Yeah. Hey, I woke up and nothing hurts. Yay. All right. Well, that's all I got. You got any more?
I don't, but I'm sure we could always think of more. But it's funny because I can think of so many different toys like and stuff like that. But birthdays, Christmas, like even just one final point. Like I remember with birthdays, lesser than the gifts. Remember when we were kids, like mom would always go out of our way to make us a cake from scratch, and then decorate it with whether it was Batman. I think there was a Ninja Turtle cake. I mean, all these different things and stuff like that too was really cool.
There was one gift I got for my birthday that I was really disappointed in. It wasn't because of who got it for me or anything. It was mom and dad got it for me, but I had this really. When you're a kid, you get these ideas in your head. Okay, so do you remember the show Double Dare?
Sounds familiar.
Okay, so it was like these kids and they'd go through these mazes and there was this big slide. They get all nasty and slime and all this crap, right?
Oh,
Well,
that
they made
sounds
a
fun.
game.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And me and my 7, 8-year-old mind thought the game came with like all the slides and everything else and all this and that. And I get it, and it's like this box, like this big. I'm like, what the hell?
I was ripped off.
Where's the stuff? Where's Mark Summers? Where the hell is the
The host comes in the box.
Where's the host? It was like this stupid thing where you try to throw the ball to catch on the guy's head with a net or something.
Yeah.
It was like this lame crap, and you're like, oh, this is such a letdown compared to what the show was,
Right. Well, it's a quick moneymaker scheme.
Yeah, but you had it in your head.
It's like if they made like a Wheel of Fortune game, you're not getting Pat Sajak.
Pat Sajak and the wheel, and
Vanna White does not come with it. So
yeah.
And the studio audience and the car that you can win, they do not come.
Right. And Charlie up in the booth,
Yeah. No, not included.
Oh, good. All right. Well, we won't be back next week. So Merry Christmas to everyone watching.
Yes. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Remember, this is all fun stuff, but the birth of Jesus Christ is the real reason why we celebrate Christmas.
That is the ultimate Christmas gift.
The ultimate gift there. So, another year.
And time with people and family and friends, regardless, even if they maybe voted differently, you still should spend time.
Still should. Yep.
With them. There's no reason not to.
I was at a birthday. I was at a birthday party this weekend, and we didn't agree on one part of politics, and we didn't fight. We didn't try to kill each other.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Who knew that was possible?
I didn't think it was. Sarcasm. So.
Yep.
All right. Well, everybody, we'll see you guys. I don't know. Do we want to do this on New Year's Eve? I guess we could. Who cares? I don't do anything on New Year's Eve.
I have no idea. I'll let you know. I don't know if mom and dad are doing something or if anyone else is. All
right. Well, if not, we'll be back the week after. So you guys have a Merry Christmas. We'll see you later.
All right. Yes. Merry Christmas.